So about a week ago, I released a video talking about my thoughts and my dreams and hopes for what BlizzCon Line 2021 would be. And if you didn't have a chance to check that out, I will post a link to that in the description box below. But here we are a week later, and now we have the schedule. And I thought it'd be fun to take a look tonight with you guys to see what's in it and to compare and contrast to the 3 previous BlizzCons that I had been to. But before we get into it, you know what you have to do. That's right, you have to subscribe. I'm going to be posting this graphic each and every month for the entire month of February. Do me and the channel a big favor. If you like what you see, subscribe. BlizzCon Online 2021 schedule has just been posted. This is courtesy of the BlizzCon.com website. I will post a link to this as well in the description box below, so you can go ahead and check that out as well and see it for yourself. Get ready to plan your BlizzCon Online viewing strategy. We've posted the full schedule for both days of the show, which is Friday, February 19th, and Saturday, February 20th, to watch for free. The fun kicks off with the opening ceremony at 2 p.m. Pacific on Friday. Note there are now 5 channels that are dedicated to World of Warcraft, Hearthstone, Diablo, Overwatch, and Strategy. Now, Strategy is supposed to cover StarCraft, Warcraft 3 Reforged, and Heroes of the Storm. So we'll see if that's true. I've already looked at the schedule, and I know that answer. Plus the main channel, which will be basically a mix and match of some of the other channels. The nice thing is, if you missed anything, fear not. All segments will be video on demand after they air, so you can go back and watch it later if you didn't get a chance to watch it live. I have always bought the BlizzCon virtual ticket if I couldn't make it in person. They do a great job. Everything has got great titles. It's uploaded very quickly. The quality is good. The sound quality is good. There's no dopey commercials. It's great. Now, I did pay for it. I'll be really curious to see what it looks like this year. I should mention, I don't know if I'm going to quite do this yet. We'll see how I'm feeling. They are allowing co-streaming. So if you want to stream it live on Twitch or on YouTube, they are not going to stop you. Let's look at the schedule. Now, as I mentioned, it's going to start at, now my times have been converted to Eastern Standard Time. When you log in, it will pick your time for you. So, keep that in mind. These are all relative times, obviously, to my time zone. Yours may vary. The opening ceremony is going to kick off from 5 to 6. Now, this is a little over an hour. I got to say, last BlizzCon, which has been a while, I think the opening ceremony was incredibly underwhelming. They have about an hour to get your attention in a very, very busy 2021 space, especially on games that they themselves have kind of stopped supporting. They're going to have to do something to get you excited for this game, to get you to jump back into it and say, yes, I am ready. I want to keep going. I want to give you money. I want that next DLC. I want to jump back in. Gimme, gimme, gimme. This is where this is going to happen. We hope it happens. I'm not so sure it's going to. It's going to be simulcast across all the channels. So if you tune in, I think a majority of the people will watch this, and then they'll decide if they want to stay around or if they're going to bounce. Then we start breaking into some of the other channels. And I'm not going to go through every single thing here. I'm just going to leave this here. Actually, yep, that's the end of the day right there. So I'm going to leave it just right there. You can go ahead and check it out at your leisure while I talk over it for a moment or so. I want to say BlizzCon has always been really cool to me because it has served 2 purposes in the past. Purpose number 1, it is a great place to get news and information on upcoming games. No duh. Number 2, it is a great place to see behind the curtain. Blizzard has always been incredibly forthcoming with information. Designs that they have, sketches, artwork, animation. Everything that goes into making a game, BlizzCon has always been a great outlet for people to see and understand what goes into the process. And really, I think it gives people a much greater appreciation of these games because you understand how they're made. You see the concept arts. You see what the designers were going for. You see some of the balance testing they did. You see some of the bugs that they did. And those are great things too. And lastly, I know I said 2 things, but I thought of a third. BlizzCon has always been a great place for the finale of major tournaments. whether it be Heroes of the Storm, whether it be StarCraft, whether it be Warcraft PvP, Hearthstone Invitationals. They've always been a phenomenal place, even Overwatch with the Overwatch Stadium, for everybody to get together and celebrate kind of like the end stone. This is, the end of the year, because BlizzCon used to be around October, November. The end of the year, the end of the tournament, everybody gets together, champions will be crowned. Those were the kind of the big three tenets of BlizzCon. That's not happening anymore, and that's frustrating. I'm really frustrated by that. So you do still have, your deep dives on stuff, which I do appreciate. You're going to get a behind-the-scenes look and talk with some of the voice. Not you're going to talk. You're going to listen to some of the voice actors, and they're going to have an interview panel with hear them talk about their characters. These are phenomenal panels. If there's anything you watch outside the ceremony, I would highly encourage you to find the game you like. Hopefully they have a good development voice panel on it, which you'll see. And watch those because they're phenomenal. You really get a understanding some of the inspiration. One of the stories that I distinctly remember, because I am such a huge fan of him, was our good friend Tyrael. The guy who voices Tyrael didn't really understand video games, and the voice actor told him, speak to somebody like you're kind of talking down to them a little bit, because Tyrael is this almighty god. He's like this superhuman, this angel kind of descends from the heavens. He's going to watch over these little peon people, make him sound awesome. And the guy said his inspiration was scolding his dog, which if you listen to the voice, you can almost hear him kind of talking down like, hey, quit it, sit down, which I thought was really cool. You're going to get that in these kind of panels. Now, they do offer some deep dives this year, which is nice. So you're going to have a deep dive, which means this will be an in-depth look at some sort of expansion or some sort of new mode or some sort of world event that's going on. If you don't see a deep dive next to a game, most likely it means that there's not a lot coming, or they don't really have much to say in the development front. And these are great panels. They are a little short this time. I'm kind of surprised. It could potentially be they're not accepting questions at this point, or maybe they're going to somehow incorporate what they think are the most important questions into their briefs. That said, there's not a lot of time to get into stuff, so they're going to kind of rush through it a little bit. And overall, I have to say that this schedule is incredibly compressed compared to what other previous BlizzCons have been in the past. So I would have loved to see this kind of spread out, but okay, I get it. They're hurting, I think, financially, maybe. I know Activision isn't. I think Blizzard is. But not only that, it is a slow year, and a lot of people have speculated, for them at least, they're in big trouble. They're salvaging and merging and destroying a lot of teams. There's a lot of rumors and rumblings that things aren't as great as we think they are, and I think it kind of shows. But we'll see. There's an Overwatch channel dedicated to the behind the scenes of Overwatch 2. They're also having a great Overwatch voice panel. These are phenomenal. Some of the voice actors are incredible. I hope they have some good ones. I've watched a lot of them in the past, and they're really, really talented, creative people. A lot of fun to watch. The one thing I'm most disappointed about, and going back to my original 3 points of what made a good BlizzCon in the past, is the StarCraft/strategy channel, where they're going to dedicate pretty much the entire night to what happens if StarCraft from different eras faced off. Join us for basically a sort of tournament between StarCraft 1 and StarCraft 2 to see kind of who wins these like throwaway tournaments. This isn't like ESL. This isn't their big esports partnership. This is just kind of like an exhibition match. I guess I'm okay with it. You see the word exhibition actually spelled out here under Hearthstone. It's a little disappointing. As I mentioned, that is a big pillar of what BlizzCon is supposed to be, and that's been taken away. But it may be cool. I don't know. I kind of don't think so, but it may be cool. Moving on to day number 2, you see that each panel starting right off at 3 p.m. 3 p.m. Eastern time for 1 hour. You're going to get basically some Q&A on World of Warcraft. You're going to get some Hearthstone Q&A that's cut incredibly short for a panel on Reno Jackson. It's one of the Hearthstone artists, Raphael, Takes you step by step on how to draw Reno Jackson, which, okay. Seems kind of weird that they'd cut the Q&A time in to draw a character. I don't really know in 25 minutes, as somebody who's really learning to draw and spends hours drawing things, I feel like 25 minutes isn't really enough. Why they picked this character? Clearly they're somehow tied into this next expansion or content boost or whatever, but a little weird. Diablo Q&A, this will be spicy. If you're gonna watch anything on day 2, I would watch this one. I'm not sure how they're gonna filter in questions. They may be all pre-recorded, but remember, is this out of a April Fool's joke? This is where this guy came from. Overwatch doesn't get a Q&A. Overwatch gets a Shock versus the World, which is another exhibition where the previous champion, San Francisco Shock, will take on players and surprise guests. So it's going to be like goofy, like, hey, what would happen if, The Rock played in Overwatch, or some random, like somebody who's clearly not good at the game, but is just a personality. That's what this is going to be. I'm going to give you a hint. The San Francisco Shock is going to crush everybody. And then on the strategy channel, again, another disappointment. We're getting a user-generated showcase, which is the UGC, has been a vital part of Blizzard gaming for decades. And I guess this is where Warcraft 3 was mentioned as I went back to this front page here. And they said that the 5 channels dedicated, that there would be a strategy channel dedicated to all this. Warcraft 3 Reforged was basically sent out to die. There's been no discussion about it. The patch notes are horrible. It's just not in a good state right now. So I guess they could check the box and say, yes, we talked about Warcraft Reforged because the word Warcraft is listed here, maybe. But these are all going to be user-generated content. Join us as we celebrate and showcase off some variety games through the years. So you're probably going to see stuff like Nexus Wars on StarCraft, and you're going to probably see stuff like ARAM on Heroes of the Storm, stuff like that. Then they have a community showcase, which takes up a large portion of the afternoon. Now, this is actually kind of nice because Blizzard has always had a really nice fan base, and people love to dress up and create original stuff. This has always been kind of a pillar of the show. I'm glad that it remains. I'll be curious to see how they can pull that off in a virtual environment. Moving on into the kind of finale here for the night, we have a Critical Role Diablo campaign. Critical Role hosts a Diablo-themed adventure about a band of warriors pursuing whispers of something ancient and stirring. So this is going to be like some, I don't know. If this isn't pulled off well, what a waste of time. You got a deep dive of Thrall, a cooking workshop, streamer Showdown, which again is another kind of breakdown. Of course, everybody's favorite, my favorite, Crip himself, Criparian. One of the best content creators I've ever watched for Diablo or Hearthstone content. He'll be online to throw down against other people. Then we're going to get a whole evening dedicated to the Hive Mother. Join the artists from the Diablo team to see the beginning phase of a boss monster in Sanctuary. So this is a long... This is the kind of stuff that old BlizzCon used to be. But wow, what a long time dedicated to this. Unfortunately, because they're spending so much time on this, you're not hearing about Diablo 4. You're not getting a deep dive of any kind of crazy new Diablo 3 stuff. You're not getting a deep dive of a Diablo 2 expansion or this remake that has been coveted for so long. And then you're going to have, simultaneously, you have another panel going on with Carbot, who does phenomenal YouTube videos. Highly recommend the Diablo series. If you haven't already watched it, it's tons of fun. And then a couple deep dives, one specifically on Tracer and another on the Necrolord's House of the Chosen, Margrave Crexus. No idea who that is, but another art thing. So what was missing? Let's go back and check. Did they talk about Heroes of the Storm? Not really. Did they talk about Warcraft 3 Reforged? Not really. Did they talk about StarCraft? I mean, yes, there is a StarCraft panel on day 1. Not a panel, rather, this Legends mode. But I don't know. I think it's going to answer some of the mail. I think BlizzCONLINE overall is going to be a mere shadow of its former self. I think we all kind of knew that going into the online space. Unfortunately, I also think that because they are really kind of hemorrhaging a lot of franchises, this panel is weird. And having so many dedicated stages just shows how little they have to talk about with each individual game. I mean, having a dedicated Overwatch channel, yes, you get the voices of Overwatch, but then having this goofy exhibition thing, just as an example, it just seems kind of lackluster. So I'm not so sure how this thing's going to pan out, honestly. Of course, I will be watching. I will probably I don't think I'll do a live stream. I got to kind of kick that around. I might just want to kick back and enjoy it on my own. But expect a video from me at some point, maybe late Saturday, February 20th, or early Sunday, February 21st, where I will go through everything that I saw and learned and my beliefs and my thoughts on everything. I may tie it in with another video I've been kicking around for a while. I found some really old BlizzCon stuff from 2009, 2010, which was really cool to look through. So I might do a video, a little show and tell, and then compare and contrast. But we will see. What I want to hear from you guys as I close out this video, leave a comment below. Let me know if your favorite game was talked about. What is missing? Do you feel kind of disappointed? I do. Let me know. Thank you guys so much for watching. Take care of yourselves, and until next time, I will see you guys on the other side.